Let's freaking go! Big freaking W as we are doing this film study all the way from Chicago, okay? So, as many of you know, I'm just staying up all night. We got a 5 a.m. flight back home, so I got to keep it a little low-key here. Live stream got pretty crazy last night, and more importantly, LSU went freaking crazy on offense. So we're going to talk a little bit of everything, but obviously a lot of you want to talk about LSU's continued struggles on special teams when the main focus should be Jayden Daniels freaking balling out of control. But as you can see, not the start that you want on special teams, them returning a kick such as that one, and we are going to break this play down. Okay, let's go. So the first thing I want you to look at here is I want you to notice all the scholarship talent that LSU has on their kickoff team here. The only walk-on I see is Jack Rilling here. So you have Terrence Welsh, Converse, Jaray Jenkins, Harold Perkins. I think this is Wes Weeks, and a few other players here off to the right. Kind of hard to see with their jersey numbers, and of course this kick returned off to the left. So there's a lot of different ways to set up a kick coverage unit, but the most important thing is have two guys trail a little bit behind this first wave here, and they are the contain defenders, okay? So if a kickoff returner bounces the ball towards the sideline, your contain guys need to be there to make the tackle, because most kickoff return units have most of their blockers forming a wedge-ish up the middle. Of course, wedges are now illegal. So what we do here is we actually fill our lanes here. This is actually walk-on Jack Rilling who beat everyone down the field here. So Etienne's like, look, everything looks filled here. I'm just going to bounce this. And first thing is you don't like seeing Converse get beat here, but the contained defender here was actually true freshman Terrence Welsh. Okay, he gets sucked in a little too far to the inside. That's my best guess as to what happened here. But still, you have to be able to make this tackle right here, and he just misses it. So this is why you got to have your best athletes on special teams, because if Dybert would have missed this tackle, Harold Perkins still would have been able to run him down. So obviously we then get to the first big touchdown completion. I just love watching Florida's offense. I really do. Billy's done a really good job generating explosive plays. Florida was second in the SEC in explosive play rate, and they proved it again versus the LSU defense. I love pistol formation. You guys know how much I freaking love it, and I love play action. And all they're doing here is running a post, okay? Converse is the corner right here, okay? So all you have to do in this situation is make sure you don't get beat deep. Did he think he had safety help to the inside? Maybe. They're also rolling him out to give him time to throw this ball, and there's no pressure because of the play action fake and the rollout. Richardson, as many of you know, is as athletically gifted of a quarterback as you're going to see. Now Converse is, still man-to-man versus this receiver, and he just gets beat. He had inside leverage right there, and he got beat to the inside, or just got beat over the top right here. Did he think Greg Brooks was going to run and help him here? I don't know. Still, that's a perfectly thrown football. Give him credit for making a good play. You'll see here on the replay, did Converse think he had safety help over the top right here? Maybe. Maybe he thought he did have more inside leverage or inside help right here over, the top. Garner obviously was in man on this guy all the way through, and it was covered. So I guess he tried to jump this dig right here. And, man, this is still just a really good route right here by Shorter. And Converse actually did a good job, flipping to the inside here, but then it just comes down to speed. Converse is not the fastest corner. So this was honestly just a really, really good throw right here by Anthony Richardson. And, yeah, and, it just depends on what the actual coverage responsibilities were there. And either one could be true. The safety could play the dig right there, but, for me, I would prefer my safety to stay over the top and help my corner on anything deep such as that. Now, when you get to this spot right here, if you're Converse, it's always better to just commit the pass interference penalty, and he tries to right here, okay? But pull him down by any stretch of the imagination. So the funny thing about this LSU performance is they still had some issues early in this game, getting themselves into third and better situations. So this is a 3rd and 8 right here, and Jayden sits in the pocket. Kayshon eventually opens up. Obviously, this isn't the prettiest throw you're ever going to see, but who cares? It got there, right? And because they have to respect Jayden's ability to run here, you notice how unaggressive their pass rush lane responsibilities were, okay? You got this quarterback spy. It's tough. It's really tough, and that's going to give Jayden all that extra time. And you see, this is not a well-thrown football at all, right? It is a wobbler coming out of his hand, and he's fading away as well, okay? And there was no need for him to fade away like that. But that's a good thing about being such a deadly quarterback with your legs. It gives you all day to throw the football, and Kayshon's just sitting there waiting for it. Just really, really good stuff right there by Kayshon, and he makes this guy miss. That's just ridiculous. I mean, to break this right here is just insane, right? And, he had just not been playing well. And to have this game shuts me up, shuts everybody up about the Kayshon struggles. And this was just such a big game for me. Bam! I'm looking at you. Yes, you. So once again, sorry for not the absolute cleanest audio. Obviously, being on the road, it is a little bit tough. But if it is in your heart's desire, please drop a Venmo, Cash App, or join our PHL Patreon. Because, of course, sometimes our film studies do get demonetized. So this was another angle right here. Obviously, you would like to see Jayden start making this throw right here. It looks as if, and Florida showed a tendency to do this, right? Their guys will back off right here, and they'll keep backing off. So this ball could have been delivered right here. They showed this versus Missouri quite a bit. This ball could be thrown in this window. Still, it's fine. It's a scramble drill, and that's perfectly fine with me. Okay? Good job by Kayshon working with, finding the open space and just working with Jayden to get there. Good job by Jayden finding him. And Kayshon was just a different human being, man. He was so freaking good for us, right? And earlier this year, he was my highest graded player in the Southern game, and it was just so good to see him get freaking going, okay? Making guys miss, doing special things such as that. This is what makes him one of the best players in college football. Just a good rep right here by a good player, Brenton Cox. So, yeah, sometimes you're just going to get overpowered by good defensive ends, and that's all that happened right there. So, there you go. So, here we are. Now we get to this 3rd and 15. And this play to me was just so fascinating from LSU. So, notice our protection gets a lot better. Good call by Mike Denbrock right here to help Emery Jones in this spot, okay? Good job by John Emery getting a chip. So everything is looking, absolutely perfect when it comes to protection. And now we need Jayden to make a play on this 3rd and 15. So he is sitting. And then once again, because of the inability to really pressure him, it gives him time to find Kayshon down the field, and Kayshon once again makes a really, really, really special play. So this is difficult. I see a lot of quarterbacks struggle with this. So he's looking right, okay? And then once you look right, always look back towards the dig. Okay, the hardest thing about throwing a dig, though, is that if you're late, this player can intercept it. Ironically, Anthony Richardson had a pick like this versus USF, where he was looking right and then threw the dig late. So the dig was open here to Kayshon. So instead, he rolls out and then waits till Kayshon gets into this window, and then he rips it, okay? Once again, it is a wobbler. Look at that catch. Look at how this ball left his hand, okay? That is coming directly out of his hand. Look at how difficult of a catch that is, though. I mean, my goodness gracious. A knuckleball, he gets crushed, and his head snaps on the turf right here. bang, and he's still able to make that catch. Good stuff from Kayshon. All right, so I love this adjustment to the run game right here from Mike Denbrock. Start off in pistol. It is just something that I personally like, and it just gives the defense something more for them to guess. I love this run. Even though it went for 4 yards, you'll see how it sets up, the touchdown here. This is just such good stuff. So we're getting a double right here, but the guy that I want you to focus on is Mason Taylor, a guy who's had a few rough weeks. Look at how hard and low he fires off here. Okay, so his job is to get play side right here. Boom. All right, you see he gets his right arm underneath there, and then he's got to work to the second level. We're getting a good double right there on their best, DT, Javon Dexter. Really difficult block right here by Charles Turner against someone that legit weighs 420 pounds. And look at this right here. It doesn't look like we're generating a lot of push, but this is a loaded box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 going up against their 9 players right here. And obviously we're in 12 personnel right here. And look at this. Bang. All right. I like that. Fall forward for a few extra yards, so we get a nice run on first. Good finish right there by Emery Jones on their, best player. And now we get the second. All right, so remember last week we were talking about Mike Denbrock scheming people open? This is a good example of it right here. So once again, we are in 12 personnel, and all we are trying to do here is play a pick and roll, okay? So Brian Thomas Jr.'s job right here is to screen off number 12 right here, okay? And just screen off whoever's supposed to be guarding the running back, all right? But as you see, there is a miscommunication here anyway. 12 and 51 both guard Kole Taylor, and that leaves John Emery open right here. So you notice Ventrell Miller right here is making a late call to 22 to guard John Emery in the flats. Then we got BTJ running here to screen off whoever picks up John Emery, and this is just easy pitch and catch, okay? This is called scheming people open, right? Throws to the running backs is oftentimes a quarterback's best friend. Hit him on the upfield shoulder, let John do the rest, and John does John Emery things, and we get a tutty, baby. You'll see it here, it's just simple, okay? Ventrell makes a late call to 22 to pick this up, and, this is just simple pitch and catch, man. Sure, this is a very, simple play, okay? Kole Taylor running here, and, when we play better defenses, we won't be able to score on plays such as this. But Florida's defense historically versus LSU in these past couple of years, they just do some inexplicable things such as give us an easy touchdown such as that one. So in football, there's something called strength calls. You'll hear that term from time to time, where the defense declares which side of the formation is the strength. So oftentimes, for some teams, the automatic strength call is to the field, and the weak side call is to the boundary. Here, for me, most defenses that I know call a strength call to the side that has, the strength, where there is a tight end. But in this case, there's not just one tight end, there are 2. So what happens here? Well, they run a pitch to the left, and we are blitzing all our players to their right, okay? So when you do that, and you're bringing this guy, and you're bringing this guy, and you're bringing this guy, and they're running to the left, that means there are fewer defenders to tackle this player to the left. And not only are we doing that, we are rolling the safety to the play side to a single high safety, and we are in about as worst of a situation as we possibly could be in right here, okay? Jacoby and Guillory takes the inside route. We have 2 of our faster players on defense, a linebacker in Harold Perkins, and this obviously is Baskerville, and then we also have this player sealed off to the left. So now we have 1, 2, 3 guys right here defending this play. The only issue I have here, and a lot of the explosive runs do tend to go towards Greg Penn's side, he does have a tendency to guess, where he's just running into a pile here. I'd rather him sit back and just try and feel this out, but his role might have been the contained defender role, so it's kind of hard to, it just depends on how you're coaching the spot, but that's just too easy right there. Now remember, this play makes Joe Fouché look slow, but at the snap, he was rolling into single high. Now he still needs to make this tackle right here, but that was tough to sprint from that direction and then come back over here. So you'll see it from this angle once again. He rolls to the right. We're blitzing, two linebackers to the right away from the strength call. I would like to see us check out of a call where, we're overload pressuring one side of the formation, and when it looks to be, it could be a clear run to the left. So this is partially on scheme, but still, I would rather Greg Penn. It's tough to just sit right here instead of immediately playing the contain role, because you're going to have this corner behind you, and this is how the Mississippi State long touchdown run happened. Getting caught up in the wash and just trying to guess where the ball carrier is, and that's just too easy. Once again, Florida is an explosive offense, and they generate a lot of explosive plays, and they did again tonight versus us, or last night. It's like 2 in the morning here. Boom! I'm looking at you. I know you've already subscribed to ring the bell. We're going to talk a lot about offensive theory, okay? One thing I think I would love to see is what the splits were with LSU sending a wide receiver in motion compared to a tight end in motion. LSU was one of the heaviest pre-snap motion teams in the SEC, and I love pre-snap motion, right? It keeps the defense guessing what you're going to do. Well, we were one of the more predictable offenses. I like wide receiver pre-snap motion more than tight end pre-snap motion, so I'd love to know the difference in play productivity. And this route concept actually opened itself up for a few players. Okay, so going into this game, Florida loves to play a lot of cover 3, okay? So cover 3 basically means this corner has this deep third, this corner has this deep third, and this safety has deep middle, okay? And that is exactly what Florida decides to do here, or at least it looks like that's what they're doing here, okay? So what you'll see here is a few things open up, okay? All right? First thing is he could have hit John Emery right here on an easy check down, but we want to get the football vertical, okay? He sees that this defender sits. We're running 2 goes right here, so he knows that this corner, with this safety being this far over here, he knows that this corner's got to take either this player or Kayshon. Don't want to lead him too much, because obviously that corner right there can, destroy you. Also, watching Missouri last week and a few other Florida Gators film accounts, 3 is a brutal cover 3 corner. He made a lot of mistakes versus Missouri. This means LSU watched their film, okay? If he sinks back into zone, attack him. And that is what LSU decides to do, okay? Not the cleanest mechanics, obviously, by Jayden right here. He does decide to double clutch instead of just rifling this football into Kayshon. Once you see that this defender right here is sitting, just go on ahead and fire it, right? Kayshon's even with this guy. And if you know that this safety is all the way over here and this safety is sitting right in this space right here, rip it now, okay? But he kind of double clutches, and he could have been leading Kayshon right there. Still, it got there, okay? And that's the most important thing, right? It's a wobbler, it's low, but who cares? It got home, and that's what ultimately matters. Let's go! Come on, you know you love it. All the way from Chi-Town, got some new Maltinati's pizza. Let's talk about this play right here. 3rd and 8, really good call right here by Mike Denbrock. I like that we're doing more pre-snap motion with the wide receiver. I think that is always the better version of pre-snap motion. Good job seeing Kayshon going. And all we're doing is essentially doing what we did last week for Mason Taylor on the 3rd and 14 completion. It's kind of like a screen and roll in basketball, a little pick play to set this up. And why is this such a good play? Well, it's quick, it's easy, it's a one-read thing. It's a throw, high percentage throw, right? But the biggest thing is that you don't need to have great protection, okay? Because they call a nasty blitz and they get unblocked A-gap pressure. And because of that, and we're running something quick, we are able to get a nice, easy completion right here to the Florida killer, Jaray Jenkins. Let's go! I think John decided at the last second to try and help protect against this. I don't know if that was a protection mistake. And Ventrell Miller, their best players, coming through untouched. Jayden does a good job getting rid of it. Good accurate throw. I know it's a little pixelated, but good stuff. So Jayden is not going to be the most gifted thrower of the football. I'm fine with that. Not many people are. What I can say, though, is he is one of the best runners at the quarterback position I've ever seen. And it's really, really remarkable. And it's not just the speed, it's the ball handling, okay? He gets kind of a weird snap, okay? And he pulls this ball right here. I think if he hands it off to John, John still scores. If 10, actually plays John. But he ends up playing neither. And Jayden still has to beat their best player, Ventrell Miller, to the outside. And that's just ridiculous, okay? And then he's just walking in, okay? He could have gotten hit right here. I prefer you just running their boots to the ground, okay? 6 would have been justified in popping him. Quarterbacks are so protected now, it's not even funny. But that's just some nasty stuff, JD5. Let's go. We're on the road, baby. We're going to get this dub. And what's truly crazy about it is, Ventrell Miller didn't take the worst angle. That is just insane. I don't know. Jayden is so special running the football that it is hard to not see him at the next level, at least not being Terrell Pryor level good. He is crazy. Okay, so this time we do motion the tight ends, and we see Florida is not doing anything exotic on this 3rd and 10. Okay, so now they're getting their communications off right here, and that's what pre-snap motion does. It forces audibles at the line of scrimmage. This is just really good reading of the game right here by Jayden Daniels, okay? He sees that this safety is going this way. He sees that this safety is over the middle of the field, or on this side of the hash. So where do you have to attack? You got to attack the middle, okay? So he waits for Kole Taylor to clear out right here on Ventrell Miller. And you see, this is just really good quarterbacking, okay? He anticipates Kole Taylor running into this window. And look at when he's deciding to throw the football. That's good anticipatory quarterback play. And notice when you anticipate and throw with confidence, you throw an absolute accurate strike. But I want you to notice the quality of the spiral. You notice what happens when you just plant your cleats into the ground and you just rip that son of a gun? It's kind of hard to see, I know, but if you slow it down, look at how much better this ball is coming out. It's not wobbling. It's leading the receiver. Once again, Ventrell Miller, their best player. We attack the linebacker with the tight end. Good catch right there by Kole Taylor. You see what happens when you start hitting them with passes? The box begins to lighten, okay? They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 against R6, okay? And you got to count one person for Jayden in the running game. You've got to be able to run against it, okay? Good stuff right here by Josh Williams getting skinny. Good block right there by Emery Jones on one of their best players, and that's breaking an arm tackle right there. Really, really, really good stuff, and a nasty finish right there by Josh. All right, one of my favorite plays of the night, because Denbrock is starting to hopefully do more play action, okay? Get a play action fake right here. They're doubling Kayshon, bracketing him, if you will. Okay, linebackers bite up on the play action. We're taking a shot, though. It's a BTJ double move. Okay, you fake your throw, and now BTJ stopped. It looks like he stopped a little bit here. He does, and then he hits him with the double move. Good pass protection as well. And BTJ, not the best thrown football. That's just an amazing catch right there. Amazing, amazing, amazing stuff. Got a little lucky on this exotic pressure. That there was just a bad miscommunication. This is what happens when you get exotic, okay? Nothing got open on the back end, but, was Etienne supposed to stay in and pick up Baskerville? I don't know. I'll take it all day, every day, and we get the pressure. We get the sack, okay? Good stuff right there by Baskerville. Here we go. Running to the right. Let's kick out 10. Okay, so their linebacker misreads this, okay? Notice he guesses, all right? And now he's giving us this angle right here on John Emery with the hurdle. Denbrock's making me really hot. I'm telling you, this pre-snap motion with the receiver, play action fake, and a Jayden rollout, okay? So now they're just trying to figure out what the heck's happening. They're running with John Emery here on this play action. Now we're rolling out. Play action opens up, just this little pocket of space on the rollout. Look at that ball by Jayden. That is a strike. No wobble right there, baby. And now Malik does a good job, falling forward. And there we go. So we get vertical right here on this 3rd and 8. One thing I will say about the LSU offensive performance is the success rate on 1st and 2nd down. You hear Brian Kelly use that term all the time. Success rate, it needs to get better. So 3rd and longs, okay, but we do get a break here. They jump off sides, and Brian Kelly talked about this play in the postgame. Okay, look to the left, throw to the right, and just let it rip. It's offsides, who cares? But the beauty of this play is that the offsides honestly doesn't matter. If it's 3rd and 8, why don't we actually take a chance with Jaray Jenkins anyway? Okay? Who cares if it gets intercepted? If they intercept that, it's a punt deep in their own territory. Now, the funny thing about it is because it does take a little bit longer to develop, this fake to the left, throw to the right, Ventrell Miller actually gets home on this stunt. Okay, we did a good job, though, picking it up and able to get just a little bit of a piece right there by Anthony Bradford. Good job by Jayden taking this. My thing here is I do think this should have been a flag for hitting him low. Okay, glad there wasn't any more of that in this game, right? Maybe not. Who cares? We get the tutty, but keep taking vertical shots. One thing I really like about Jaray on his deep routes, okay, and I'm, it's too late, and we do got a flight here in a few hours. Jaray is so good when the ball is in flight, playing hand fighting, okay, because honestly he is pushing off right there, but they never call this. That's just veteran wide receiver play to generate that little bit of separation, and that got him off balance, as you could tell. And Jayden throws an absolute dime right there. Really creative stuff right there by Jaray Jenkins. All right, one of my favorite plays of the night. You are pulling 2 of your players to the right side, but the big cutback angle comes to the left, okay? And remember a little bit earlier we were talking about, blitzing players versus the run. You want them to run blitz, right? Or blitz versus the run, especially if they're going to run upfield like this because they're just taking themselves out of the play, okay? So right here, Josh Williams just makes this guy miss. And this is one of their best players, Javon Dexter. And we honestly don't really block this that well, okay? We actually leave him unblocked, all right? So Charles Turner takes on the end, and their best DT, I'm guessing Mason Taylor should have picked this up right here. And we actually just miss him, okay? But Josh Williams just breaks this tackle and is able to find this space right here, okay? This is just a superhuman play by Josh. This player gets back into it. He makes this guy miss. And Josh is, starting to play unbelievably well. He breaks another tackle, and then he breaks another tackle. All reliable Josh Williams. This is phenomenal stuff. This is a former walk-on doing what he's doing. And this was a guy who just didn't break many tackles when he actually got the football early in his career. But all Josh Williams does is show up. He's reliable, and he's always there for the team. If you're Florida, you want Gervon Dexter unblocked against a smaller running back who's twice his size. But this is Gervon Dexter, who's played the most snaps of any SEC defensive tackle this year. And, that's just nasty. All these broken tackles are just so nasty, right? That was a difficult broken tackle. This was an even harder one. And he just says, get off me. Then he just makes this player say, get off me. Unfreaking believable stuff. Really, really, really is, okay? And I love seeing the sideline go crazy, okay? Kimo Makanele cheering him on. Love it. Jayden decides to keep it, okay? So, In decides to crash down here and play the run. Good read by Jayden. Okay, he sees that this In is deciding to stay in. So now Jayden should pull it every single time. This is just really sloppy defense by Florida. It's just bad defense, honestly. You want Jayden handing that football off right there. Okay? He is our best runner with the football in his hands. Even with Josh Williams and John Emery playing as well as they've been playing these last couple of games. It's in goal, and this is simply inexcusable. Okay? They give up an easy quarterback draw touchdown. Okay? Why? Huh? I know Jayden's throwing the football well right now. Good job by John Emery here, not committing this holding penalty. Okay? Just let him go. You know you got a special ball carrier. And Jayden, this is just filthy. There's not many people that could get horizontal. Okay? Because the right thing to do is just to bang this thing up in here. But the speed is just so freaking insane. It really is so freaking insane. And he's able to beat this guy easy as well. It's just excellent, excellent, excellent stuff. 2nd down and 7. We haven't done a defensive snap in a while. Alright? This is getting really exotic, okay? We line up in tight front, and we decide to bring this player, Jay Ward, from all the way over here, and it actually works, okay? We'll take this any day of the week. Unblock pressure from our defensive backs. Okay? And, of course, we hit him low. Alright? So, Pearsall, here he is. He's making a guy miss. And honestly, you should never hit a guy that low. They protect the quarterbacks now with that. But if you call that one was a little bit more egregious than, the one earlier from Ventrell Miller. But they're always just going to protect the quarterbacks. They just are. All right, so we'll talk about this play. Coming out of a timeout makes it a little bit more, inexcusable, but that's where we are. Okay? I don't mind on 2nd and 16 getting really aggressive with our pass rush because, we're playing soft zone coverage, right? We got a ton of people to make this tackle. It's not like we're playing, just like zero man, if you will, right? Get aggressive with your pass rush, if you will. Can't have that happen right there. So, when you play a dual threat quarterback like Anthony Richardson, these things can happen, okay? Now, you just got to make this tackle. I don't know what that was from Baskerville. Jay Ward tried to punch that out. Yeah, that's just... You just got to tackle better, right? Brian Kelly brought it up in the press conference. That's all you got to do. Now, that was just ridiculous. Showboating down 21. Insane. Absolute insanity. But you do you. Spiking the football. I like this reaction right here. Somebody please tell me who this is. It's seen. I would have made the same reaction. All right, so there's going to be questions about what happened to the LSU offense after this. So I know this is very pixelated. You hit Kayshon on the first down. I love the fact that LSU's offense continued to get vertical. Once again, today we haven't talked enough about how good the pass protection was. And this honestly is a really good throw right here by Jayden. You want to throw these balls that are difficult throws down the sideline high, so we let our 6'4" receiver had a chance to bring that down. We just got unlucky that the nose of the football grazed the ground. But that's what we want to do. We want to make those jump ball plays. And this feels good. Right in front of the Florida bench. Cold-blooded BTJ. Ha, ha, ha. So 3rd and 8, we blow a timeout here. And Jayden makes the play of the season. Okay? So we bring in a tight end to help block this all-out pressure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys. So we bring in an extra player to help max protect. Okay? So, guess what happens? They all actually drop out and bracket Kayshon. Okay? So 33 brackets him, 1 brackets him, and it actually ends up being only a 3-man rush. So what they were doing was they were just predicting that Jayden was just going to throw this football right here to Kayshon. Instead, Jayden works to BTJ, and BTJ makes an amazing all-hands catch. Good stuff. So now it's 4th and 1 here. Should Brian Kelly go for it here? Abso-freaking-lutely. This was the correct decision. This is a long field goal in the swamp with a non-Cade York kicker. Also, something else is that this was not 4th and 1. This was 4th and inches. Okay? 4th and 1s get completed at a 70% clip. You've got to allow your offense to go out there and find a way to win this game. Okay? I hate the play call, right? We come out in 14 personnel, right? 4 tight ends, 1 running back, but we do split one of them out wide. Okay? And what's funny is they're actually right here to make this stop. Okay? Will does as much as he possibly could, and Will and Frazier actually make this play. They do enough, but 21 is able to work over the top. Well, excuse me, Bernie was. And there he is right here to make this play, but it was just a desire of Josh Williams to find a way against all these people that are quadruple his size, weight altogether, and he's still able to pick up that yard. Boom! So I'm looking at you. Yes, you right now. So we do get a little unlucky that we had a few other penalties that led to a field goal that actually went for a longer distance, and those penalties were made by some backup tight ends. Well, the first one was. And we have to kick this super long kick. Sergio Ramos kicks it, and it goes straight through the uprights, and it makes it a 2-possession game. Great kick. So is that a good fist pump right here by Brian Kelly? Let me know what y'all think. I mean, it's not Tiger level, because Tiger obviously gets the upward motion. I'll take it. Now we get to, it's just nasty. 2nd and 6, they're down by 10. We know they got to throw. And, this is a nasty, nasty, nasty package. So, my buddy Max Toscano calls this Dragon, right? So, you have 2 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers, and 6 defensive backs, okay? I don't know what LSU calls this package, but I would love someone to ask. I like the name Dragon, and I like Max. Cool dude. And all it is here was we're just QB spying this. God, nasty stuff right here by B.J. Ojolari. Okay? Not as dominant of a game versus Florida, that he's had the past couple of years, that's just filthy when we really needed it, okay? And it's okay if he breaks contain to the left. We prefer that than breaking contain to the right. And he also knows that he has a QB spy behind him, and that's Harold Perkins. And he obviously gets the mother effing job done. Good stuff right there. And if you're a Wingo, you just want to fall on it. And he does. Good stuff. Boom! I'm looking at you. Yes, you. Right now. So at the end of the film studies, we always like to get together and talk about where LSU was great and where they may not have been so great. And of course, we always say at the end, talking about the game's most important position, which of course is quarterback. So I know you've already, in your heart's desire, dropped a Venmo, Cash App, whatever you want to drop. That obviously helps out. I don't know if this is going to get demonetized or not. It sometimes does. It sometimes doesn't. So, right off the jump here, LSU special teams have just got to get better. And I don't know what the deal is with the returns, but one thing that the returns did have in common, and this doesn't always get picked up by, broadcast crews, but, I like my returner to have a clear mind. And one thing we've seen LSU have these last couple of games are these last second switches on these muffs. But the muffs have got to stop. This is just absurd that this problem has continued. And I feel really bad for Jack Besh, who ended up, being hurt. And I love Jack a lot. He's obviously jumped on the channel before, and he's going to tell you that he should just catch the football. But truth be told, it wasn't just that. Obviously there were other special teams mistakes that were made, and you just saw, obviously, the biggest one. But outside of those two massive mistakes, everything just needs to get cleaned up when it comes to special teams. Now, obviously, we focused more on the LSU offense today than we did the LSU defense. And obviously, this has been such a big question that I have been asked. Well, is the Matt House defense been figured out? And the answer to that is maybe. I do think you have to look at the rest of the SEC. And outside of Mississippi State, who only put up 17 points on the road versus a solid Kentucky team, pretty much every team in the SEC West put up an absurd amount of points. Not just good, not just great, but an absurd amount of points. So what does that tell you? Well, all these overs hit, with flying colors basically, but also defenses are getting tired, and they're starting to get more film out on them. And when those things happen, offenses have the advantage. All the rules go in their favor. So even though Matt House's defense, they had a great, second half versus Auburn, this is their second rough game in a row. This is also a very banged up unit. And maybe, just maybe, Major Burns is a bigger piece to what they want to do than we wanted to give him credit for. Because LSU does have some depth in their defensive backfield, but, there have been injuries there. And every single year, LSU's defensive backfield just gets littered with injuries. So once this group gets healthier, we'll have a better idea. But, man, the next two games are against arguably the two best offenses in the West, in Ole Miss and, of course, Alabama coming off a bye. So, it's going to be tough. Glad that they were able to make some clutch stops led by Harold Perkins there at the end, but just in general. And, of course, LSU's defense was most certainly better than Florida's defense. Now, we get to the offense. And truth be told, all the position groups played phenomenally. Obviously, there were some protection issues with the offensive line, but a really good bounce back game. And we also learned tonight how valuable Will Campbell is to what they're going to do. And, they're only going to get better when Garrett Dellinger gets back fully healthy. But to me, the story was once again a really good game from John Emery and obviously Josh Williams, his best performance, of course, since the Auburn game. But really, the story is the LSU wide receivers. I mean, you saw it a few times in this film study. These balls aren't always the most accurately thrown footballs. They aren't the most timely thrown footballs, and they're wobblers, right? When you're catching football out of a jug machine, the football doesn't come out like a knuckleball. And Jayden Daniels, his throws do have a lot of wobble on it, and you know that's just part of who he is as a quarterback. That's not really a criticism; it's just the truth. And you saw the LSU wide receivers not make good plays; they made special plays. And that is what Brian Kelly has been pleading to this group is to, he's been pleading to Jayden Daniels, throw the football and allow our guys to go out there and make plays. And Jayden did just that. Who gives a rip? There's an interception here or there. Give LSU's wide receivers a chance to make plays. Now we get to Jayden and play calling here. Jayden was great. There's just no other way around it. Obviously, we can pick apart, how on time the throws were, and I would like to see, throws a little bit more on schedule. But ultimately, he is a playmaker, right? And his running ability is just so valuable, not only to his offense, but just in the modern game of college football. It really takes him to a completely different level. It's just that we needed him to throw some along with it. And that obviously is a very simplified issue with what the play, what his struggles were. But man, he really played phenomenally. He was in full control of everything. It never really seemed like in this game that anything was moving too fast for him. So for me, I've got to give this game ball to Jayden Daniels with, to me, one of the best performances you'll see in this spot, right? So, give Jayden a lot of credit for finding a way to get this done. And, Josh Williams deserves a lot of credit. And honestly, Kayshon deserves a lot of credit as well. So, shout out to all of them. And the play calling was better. We saw more motion with the wide receivers, and I felt like that helped out. I also think Florida's defense played an awful game. I do think that played part of it as well. And next week, Ole Miss's defense isn't that much better, but they would be better off not making a lot of the mistakes that the Florida defense made versus LSU. But give LSU's playmakers a lot of credit for going out there and making really special plays on their own. Now, comment down below who you thought the MVP of the game was. Obviously, we didn't focus too much on the LSU defense. We might do another film study later this week. But right now, we got a flight to catch. I do need to hurry up and wrap this up, okay? It is. I had to muffle that a little bit. Didn't want to wake anybody up. Power Hour LSU, baby. And if you watch the live stream, this thermostat, 83 degrees in a hotel room. Hotel room. Why would she do? Anyway, tonight, some leftover deep dish pizza has just been sitting right there, baby. Let's go, victory meal. Now, here's what we're going to do. In the live stream, I shared a pretty shocking admission about last night's game. You can find it. Just watch the live stream. It was a lot of fun. I really appreciate everybody hanging out. And, let's get into some deep dish pizza. Let's